When did the offers start coming in, and what was that? What was that process like?
Yeah, so my sophomore year, I ended up having enough film to end up getting a couple offers going into my junior year.
Like big ones, or
my first one was Baylor. I think I went into my junior year with about 15, and yeah, so I competed my sophomore year with a senior, and then pretty much competed for like 6 or 7 games, and we would rotate on who started. And I ended up tearing up my thumb, and then he ended up finishing out the season. And great guy, and so that was super cool. It was a lot like this year. I'm super thankful for that because I got to compete a ton. I got to learn what it was like to not be the guy, and just sit on the bench and learn. And that was a huge year for me, and it was very similar to this year in terms of competing with another guy. But I got enough experience when I came into my junior year where I felt like I was already a veteran. Like it wasn't my first go. So I had enough film going in my junior year that I ended up, getting some offers, and that was super cool. So
how'd you end up picking Clemson? Because if I remember correctly, weren't they a little late to offer you in the process?
Yeah.
You had like every offer in America, and Clemson hadn't offered you yet. So talk me through that.
Yeah, I had been talking to them for about like 8 months, and it was really during COVID. Most of my recruiting process was over Zoom and phone call. Yeah. So there was about
Zoom tours. Right?
Yeah, there's about a 5-month span where maybe a 3-month span where every day, it's phone call, Zoom, FaceTime with 300 people every single day, and that was my recruiting process. I didn't get to go do all these official visits or visit anywhere. Like I saw Clemson on Zoom and on a video screen, but I'd been talking to him for like 6 months, and I knew I wanted to come here. Like I loved Coach Sweeney, I loved Coach Streer, I loved Coach Elliott, and I knew I wanted to come here. But their rule is, we got to see you in person. We need you at camp, and I totally respect that. Now being here, I see why. And I just didn't understand that at the time, and I wasn't frustrated, but I pretty much told them, I was like, I want to come here, but they had offered another guy at the time, and they only offer one QB, and we kept on saying like, well, we'll wait till it should open everything back up in January, and then it should open everything back up in March, and then this and that, and everything kept on getting backed up, so I never got the opportunity to go up there. And eventually they were like, all right, let's do it. And I committed right on the spot, and I told Coach Sweeney, like, I'm coming, and let's get to work. So, it was, I learned a lot of trust, just in how to trust God in that moment. And it wasn't my plan at all, but I knew he was in total control. So
what a crazy scenario. Like every school in America offers you, and then the one you want to go to is make it like, it also shows you how different Clemson does things than most programs. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, that is so different. That like most schools would have taken you without ever seeing you in person. I mean, every offer you probably had would have taken your commitment on the spot, but Clemson was holding out. Did that kind of show you the fact that they do things differently? Was that attractive to you in that process? Yeah,
definitely. I mean, Coach Sweeney always says like they love to recruit character, not like athleticism and the player. They want to get to know you, and they'll recruit a person over a player any day. So that just showed a lot to me. And even being here, like, I mean, there's not one person on the team that sticks out. It's everybody's just flowing together, and just everybody gets along. Everybody's great guys, and there's just not a guy that doesn't get along with anybody. And I think that's what really makes Clemson so special, is he really recruits great people and great men. And wants them to graduate, wants them to go on and have a great career outside of football, and he makes that happen. So,
what was it like when it was getting crazy with all the you were getting the 5-star status, and you were getting to all the different the 247, all the rankings were getting crazy, and you became what'd you end up at? Were you like one of the top recruits in the country, or number 1 or whatever? Like how did that finish out?
Yeah, honestly, like I really just tried to just not even pay attention to that. I think I've had a great crew around me for a long time, and especially over this past 2 or 3 years, that just keeps Cade and doesn't worry about the football player in me. Just cares about who I am as a person. I got to go home last week or 2 weeks ago, and I got to be home for about 10 days after the Orange Bowl, and fun. It was just so good to just be around people that care for me before I even picked up a football and just care for the person that I am and the man that I am. But that really that's what kept me, was just having those people in my life that just be like, yeah, this is cool, but that's just that doesn't make you any better than anybody else, But that really just meant a lot to me to have those people in my life that just made me stay true to who I am. So,
how much did you obviously have strong faith? How much did Coach Sweeney's faith and the foundation of the program and faith have to do with your decision?
I would say a ton. Just his whole faith background and all the coaches. I mean, it's just such a great group of guys that I'm getting to, and men that I'm getting to be surrounded by every day, and that goes hand in hand with the players that they're getting. Just all the quarterbacks and all the receivers, really just everybody on the team. You go in and have one conversation with somebody in that facility, and you're going to be like, wow, that was one of the nicest people I've ever met. That just goes hand in hand with Coach Sweeney and what he builds, and he's built this program on. So.